Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live and the weekly roundup of organ recital live streams for the week of December 10th, when we have live streams coming to you from San Diego, from Salt Lake City, Utah, from Toronto, Ontario, and Canada, from where are the other two from? And from Moscow and from Paris, France. So we have a nice collection of 5 organ recital live streams for you this week. 3 of them are classic solo organ recitals. 2 of them are organ concerts with Christmas themes. How about that? So let's get right to it and take you through all these possibilities. I can show you can see in the photo. You don't get the photos on Instagram, sorry, but you have to watch us on YouTube or Facebook or X or LinkedIn if you want to get the photos, because Instagram doesn't integrate with the other children. Anyway, you can say Imre Olah there is the first of these organists over there on the right, and let me get right to telling you about Imre. St. James Cathedral in Toronto favors us this week, in fact, this very day, December 10th, a little later in the day, with the very accomplished Hungarian-born organist Imre Olah at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be in about an hour and a half from now, because it's now about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's 5:30 here in Europe, where I have been watching the Nobel Prize ceremonies and getting all emotional about it. But anyway, and that will be at 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast and 7 o'clock here in the evening. We give you the link to it on YouTube. We also give you the link to the organ specs. Imre was born in Hungary, studied music there in Budapest, specializing in, of course, organ performance, choral direction, choral music. He's performed around in Europe, Hungary, Germany, Italy, performed in different places in the U.S. He's got an associateship diploma with the Royal Canadian College of Organist. He's the artistic director of the Organ Vespers at St. Elizabeth Church, St. Elizabeth of Hungary Church. And he's also the conductor for the St. Elizabeth Schola Cantorum and the director of music and organist at the Richmond Hill Presbyterian Church. What's he going to be playing? We don't know. St. James Cathedral in Toronto never tells us in advance. The organ, I can tell you a little bit about the organ besides the specs. If it interests you at all, it has 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, over 4 manuals and 6 divisions, 5,101 pipes. It was rebuilt several times along the way over the last 150 years. The last rebuild in 1976 by L.I. Phelps and Associates. Glasgow University Chapel has gone dark with its recitals until January, as has Temple Church London. But St. Paul's Episcopal in San Diego is still going strong, I believe. Canon Martin Green is one of the most articulate and engaging organists doing live stream recitals that I know. I know that's very specific, organists doing live stream recitals. But anyway, he gives marvelous, clear explanations of why he chooses what he's playing and what's interesting about it musically, without leaving us in the musicological dust the way some experts do. So the live stream of his recital is sure to be interesting, even though I don't know what he's playing yet. But he sometimes will play early American music and then complementary European music. So he mixes and matches, and he gives you terrific explanations of why and how they go together. He's received awards from the American Guild of Organists, etc. Appeared repeatedly on NPR's Pipe Dream Live. So he's a con. The cathedral's organ is an Aeolian Skinner Quimby organ. What that means is it was rebuilt in 1969 by Aeolian Skinner, Opus 1495, and then had a complete rebuild again in 2012 by Quimby Pipe Organs, Opus 68. It currently has 4 manuals, 98 stops, 86 ranks, 115 draw knobs. I have fallen behind on the imagery I'm providing you. I can show you the manuals and the pipework at St. Paul's Cathedral. And here is a photo of the very engaging Canon Martin Green. He usually has a boy turning the pages for him who looks like he's about 8 years old. I'm wondering if that's his son or not. He's a canon in the Episcopal Church. Canons, they marry like everybody else. So that is the second of the 3 purely organ recitals that we have for you this week. Now, how about a very operatic organ recital instead? On an organ which is the equal of that at Notre Dame Cathedral. If you were impressed by the organ at the reopening concert of Notre Dame Cathedral last week, and there were many critics of it because some people didn't find the musical selection was the best, and I understand why. I mean, I don't know why they didn't play some of the most beautiful passages from César Franck or Louis Vierne. Anyway, but if you were impressed by the organ itself, you might be interested in knowing that the organ at Saint Eustache Church in Paris, which live streams every Sunday at 5 o'clock, and we tell you your Paris time, we tell you about it every week, is the equal of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Like the Notre Dame Cathedral organ, it has 115 stops. Like it has 7,952 pipes. There's a slight difference in the physical massiveness of one of the 2 organs, and I always forget which one is a little bit physically bigger. And they're built by different builders. The St. Eustache Church is a Van Heuvel organ. So anyway, but this may be why hundreds of people show up every week in person for these live streams. This is not one of these live streams where you turn on the live stream and you see 20, 30 people in a large cathedral. No, if you go there, and I have been there a number of times and live streamed to you before and after the recitals there, it's packed. There are 200-300 seats all in one half of the church. And there's not a seat empty, and there are people standing. There's standing room only in the back. Now, the organist this week is François Olivier. He's the resident choir organist at St. Eustache since 2004. So he's been around a long time. He's been around for 20 years, whereas the other resident organists who are on the main organ have only been around for about 9 years. He's also the director of a choir called the Petit Chanteurs de Nogent-sur-Marne, the Little Singers of Nogent-sur-Marne, which is a little town in the Paris suburbs. And he has a very operatic set of pieces to play for you this week. And my notes just went flying past me here. So here's what he's playing. He's playing Giuseppe Verdi's Marche Triomphale, the Triumphal March from Aida. He's playing Jules Massenet's Meditation from Thais. He's playing Grieg's Dans l'antre du roi de la montagne. And that's an extract from Peer Gynt, which I'm pretty sure in English means in the hall of the mountain king. And he's been playing a fantasy by Georges Bizet from the Carmen opera. So if you're interested in hearing very operatic organ transcriptions, this Sunday on an organ which is as grand as the organ at Notre Dame Cathedral, although it does need renovating. That's Sunday at 5:15 p.m. European time, 11:15 in the morning on the East Coast, and 8:15 in the morning Pacific time. And I can show you, before we leave that subject, since I've been talking so much about that organ, here's the manual, the 5 manual organ keyboards and the organ itself. You will never see the pipework look that magnificently clean unless and until they do the renovation, which they keep trying to get done. So that's what we have in store for you on Sunday evening in European time, in the morning in the U.S. I commend it to you. I think it'll be magnificent, played on that organ. This leaves us with two more concerts to tell you about, though. And they are both organ concerts more than they are simply organ recitals. The first of these comes to you from the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow. And I think I have a picture of the organ for you there, although I may not have a picture. Yeah, and I think I probably have the organist too. Yeah, the organist is Igor Goldenberg. Igor is an interesting guy. He's not a church organist. He's a concert organist. He's associated with, he studied at the Moscow Conservatory, but also the Hochschule für Musik in Switzerland. He's associated with the Tchaikovsky Grand Symphony Orchestra, the Mariinsky Theater Orchestra, the Lausanne Chamber Orchestra, and others. So he's a working concert kind of guy. This concert will be interesting because he will be collaborating with Yuri Tashtamirov on the saxophone and Aidana Karasheva on the harp. And this won't be the first time that he's worked together with a saxophonist. Actually, if you look him up online, you can find he has at least one recording out there, a CD, which is organ saxophone, which is an unusual collaboration, and maybe one worth hearing. They'll be playing songs, Christmas songs. This is a Christmas concert, folks. Christmas is coming. They'll be playing Christmas music by Louis Vierne, the French organist composer, Pachelbel, Bach, Schubert, Grieg, Gershwin, and others. We're told that these will be Christmas songs woven into a mosaic of images of bell ringing and melodies of Ave Maria. So Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. What can I say? If you're up for some Christmas music, this is a chance to enjoy it. The organ is a fascinating organ, which was originally built for a Reformed cathedral in Switzerland and then donated to them and installed free of charge by the people who installed it, by Orgelbau Schmidt Company. Finally, we have one more concert this weekend. How about a brass and organ concert to really get you in the Christmas spirit? That is what the Eccles Organ Festival is offering you this weekend on Sunday, December 15th at 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 4 o'clock in the morning over here in Europe, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday morning, down under Australian Eastern Daylight Time. This will be a concert on the Eccles organ at the Cathedral of the Madeleine in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a 4-manual, 4,066 pipe organ, together with a brass ensemble from the Utah Symphony Orchestra, consisting of 4 trumpets, 4 horns, 3 trombones, a tuba, a timpani, and a partridge in a pear tree. Well, maybe not the partridge in the pear tree, but we'll have all these other things. And they're going to be playing some classics. They'll be playing some pieces from Bach's Christmas Oratorio, or Yule Oratorio, as it tends to be called over here in Europe. Some Marcel Dupre's arrangement of In Dulce Jubilo, and then they'll start getting into things like the Carol of the Bells and Christmas carols of all kinds. I tell you what, rather than try to give you the list of all that one at a time, we will give you the link to the program and also give you the link to where you can donate to the Eccles Organ Festival if you think that's a good idea and you really enjoy this kind of stuff. So that's at, I think I've given you the time on that. I can show you the organ before we leave off this subject, because you kind of don't see it all that close up. But here's Here is the one to the 4-manual organ there and the pipework there on the right. This is probably the most rousing Christmas-like organ concert that we'll be able to refer you to this year. And as the song goes, Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. And the old man's hat here is, please click on the subscription or follow button, whichever platform you're following us on. Click the like button, the notification button to make sure you get all of our weekly and daily notices and reminders of all these great live performances being done for you on a regular basis, with the performers pouring their hearts, minds, and souls into creating a moment of truth and beauty for you to experience. Or maybe just have a good time. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you didn't listen, share this post with other organ lovers that you know of, if you dare. And we'll be back probably tomorrow at about the same time, probably about 6 o'clock European time, noon on the East Coast, and 9 in the morning on the West Coast, to give you the weekly roundup of chamber music for this week, because we have a lot of chamber music coming up for you too. Bye.